I invest in real estate, eventually quit my job. I like the term successfully unemployed, which means I work for myself, basically, or better way to say it, I found a way to make money to provide for myself and my family without working for somebody else, making them rich. For me, it's real estate investing, buying rental properties, 30 plus properties now, Airbnb, long-term, midterm properties. I have since last time we chatted, bought a 355 unit apartment complex in near Nashville. Great.
355 unit?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Okay. We'll dig into
Me
that.
and three other partners, we got this property. It's cash flowing really, really well. I used my podcast to let people know and said, hey, would you want to invest in this deal? I'm investing, and I'm not a syndicator. That's where somebody just goes out and just tries to find a bunch of money. It's like, no, I'm investing. If you want to just take part, and you can. So that's one. Invested in some hotels. Since then, in 2020, I've also created a network of different podcasts. So my podcast, Master Passive Income, if you search real estate investing in Apple Podcasts, I'm number one, like literally number one. And I was blown away. I was like, this is fantastic, because my goal, actually, no, a mission in life is to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. I make my money through real estate. And so this is just fun. So created a conference called the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, bringing hundreds and hundreds of people to my event, and you're coming and speaking to, which I'm super pumped about. I'm like, dude, I get to bring my friends together, and they all get to meet each other. They all, awesome, genuine people. Now I've coached thousands of people to invest in real estate, have students now graduated who are now coaching because they see, Dustin, I really want to help other people. I'm like, great, let's have you coach. And they've started podcasts underneath the Master Passive Income brand. So on top of that, we have 5 kids now. So my wife and I have 5 kids. We have 4 and then about 11-year gap. And now we have a relative newborn, 8 months old now. But man, life has just been a blessing. And for me, when I talked about the very beginning, time flies by, but we all only have 24 hours in the day. And it depends on how you make time. Some people might say, I don't have the time. No. The real right way to say it is you're not making the time to change your life. Like if you wanted to work with Gold City Ventures and you want to create your Etsy shop, or if you want to do courses or whatever you want to do, it's like, well, what are you doing on your phone so much? Or, looking at Instagram or all that sort of stuff. It's like everybody has the same time. And if we apply that time to make our lives better, then 5 years later, you're going to be able to look back and say, look what I did. Last quick thing I'll say is, because a lot of people ask me, well, Dustin, is right now a good time to invest in real estate? Prices are high, interest rates are high. And I'll say, let me answer it this way. When is the best time to plant a tree? It was 20 years ago. The next best time is literally today. So there's no good time or bad time. There's only good deals or bad deals. Just like a business, there's good businesses or bad businesses. No matter what time it is, you can invest in real estate. You can build your business, start an Etsy shop. You can do all these things now, and over time, it's a compounding effect. Now, that's why I have now everything in my businesses, 4 businesses now. So just because I just keep on pushing over and over again.
Now, something that revolutionized the way I thought about real estate, and we actually published this episode, so what was it, June or July of 2020? I bought my first rental property in September of 2020. So I remember distinctly you reshaping how I thought about real estate, because I think it was something like you had only seen one of their properties in person out of 30 rental properties that you bought. And I was like, what? That's possible? Like you can manage from that far away. And that was like a revolutionary idea to me. I thought I had to buy in Massachusetts. I think you were in California and you were like, what the heck? This doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go look in Ohio and some other states.
You're right.
Is that still the same tenets that you're working by today? Like these hotels and these 355 unit buildings, are these sight unseen and you're trusting other people, boots on the ground?
Great question. So I do remember the conversation that you or I were having. We were skiing in Tahoe. We were at Heavenly, and we were in a big Airbnb. It was so amazing. It was so much fun.
It was awesome.
But I do remember the time. Yeah, you said, I want to get in real estate. I was just telling you, this is what I do. And building that business so that I have experts doing the work for me, and then not even flying to talk. Like, why would I need to get in a room with them? And this is back in 2020. Like Zoom wasn't really that big yet. But why do I need to get in the room? And with a person, a property manager, a contractor, roofer, plumber, whatever, I can just talk to them on the phone, or now Zoom, obviously. But then you talked about like the principle, the tenet of being able to not have to see a property in order to buy it. Yes, 100%. In fact, I just bought 3 single family homes from or in Akron, didn't even look at them. And the big reason why is I hire the experts. They're the ones that are going to go walk through it. Even if I walk through it, I'm not going to even know what I'm looking at because I don't want to be an expert on houses. I pay inspectors, I pay property managers. Same thing with the 355 unit apartment complex. I did fly out because it's a big investment, and not just me. If it was just my money, I would just put my money in. I wouldn't even care to see it because I trust everybody else. But I'm getting other people to invest in me. If I lost my money, it'd be a bummer. I would hate though to lose other people's money. Like that's for integrity's sake, as well as like just me as a person. Somebody say, "Hey, Dustin, my money's lost." That would crush me. So I did everything I can to make sure that this property is going to be really, really good. Hotels, no, limited partners. So I just said, "Hey, I'm trusting my friends. These were my friends that were the general partners. Let me invest in these hotels with you." But the big thing is, as long as you have experts that are doing the work, to give you a quick example, this 355 unit apartment complex. My friends, I met them through my conference, the Real Estate Wealth Brothers conference. They came and spoke at my conference. And after 4 or 5 years of getting to know them, I realized that they were really good operators and business owners for commercial properties. Seeing them take down deals, and I just watched it for a couple of years. Then eventually I said, "Hey, Dustin, we want you to be a part of this next deal." I looked at the deal, obviously walked through it because I want to make sure it's a good deal, but I know them. I trust them. Now, a lot of people might just, put their money in places that they don't really know the people. That's not me. I have to really know the person and think, can I trust this person? And do I believe that they're going to have the best interest for me at their heart? And so now I fast forward, my friends that are the experts, just like a property manager's expert, inspector is the expert, your mortgage brokers, like all these people, they're experts in what they do. You just utilize them, and it just comes down to, can you trust them? And if you can, let's move forward with it.
So one other thing I want to ask about, and for those who are curious, like how do you get all the right people in place to buy properties in Ohio if you're living in California, go listen to that episode 88. It's the5show.com/MPI for Master Passive Income. Dustin talks all about that. He talks about getting your property manager, who's your quarterback, and they have all these contacts. They can get you in contact with the best plumbers, electricians, mortgage brokers, all that stuff. We're not going to talk about that too much here. One other thing, one strategy-wise that you've talked about for years at this point, I just want to see if this still holds true. You're a big fan of house hacking and then basically house hack hopping every 2 years. It's like buy a house, live in it for 2 years, buy another house, live in it for 2 years. You wake up 10 years later, you have 5 houses, you're a millionaire, and you're financially free. Is this still a viable strategy in 2025?
Absolutely. Now, somebody might say, let's say somebody's younger, 22, 23, just got out of college, like, Dustin, that's going to be too hard. I'm like, no, it's not. You just need to know the process of doing it, the way that you can get other people's money to do it, and finding good deals. So 100%, it is absolutely possible where you buy a house to live in, house hack it, get somebody else to live in there with you, and making sure that you're making the mortgage payments. And if you buy it right, I suggest getting the price lower so you capture equity at the same time. Then what you do is you buy the second house. The first house, you might be thinking, well, how do we get a down payment? Yes, that's a great question. Well, you don't need a huge down payment for an FHA loan, a Federal Housing Administration loan. Call up any mortgage broker, literally any, and say, I want to get an FHA loan, or I want to put as little money down as possible for this property. Then you buy that house. I've known investors who have had 4 different FHA loans under the name at the exact same time, because most people think, oh, you can only have one. Like, no, this guy, my friend, he's literally said, I have 4 at the same time FHA loans. So like, that's 3.5% down for 4 properties. Then you get tenants in there and they pay your mortgage. So you buy a house, FHA loan, 3.5% down, get a tenant in there to live with you so you follow the mortgage. But you only buy it knowing if you could rent it out long-term, medium-term, or short-term, like you have a business plan in place so that when you leave that property, you leave it and it makes you money. We don't go into business to lose money. Like you don't start an Etsy shop to lose money. Like you're selling this product that it costs you $100 to make and you're selling it for $50. Like, why would you do that? You're going to lose money.
Yeah.
Same thing with real estate investing. You make sure you're going to be making money every single month. Then you buy the second property, get out and move into this one, do the exact same thing over and over again. But here's one more caveat. An investor move. A rich person can think like this. I'm going to add one more benefit on top of this. Every house that you buy, you get a home equity line of credit on that house. So that first house, let's say you start paying it down. and then it appreciates. Then you get a home equity line of credit before you move out because it's hard to get a line of credit on an investment property. A primary residence, easy. So every place that I leave, I just left Phoenix, I moved to Nashville area, and my house, I got a $250,000 line of credit on my house I left in Phoenix. Now my new house that I bought, I'm getting another home equity line of credit, and then the next house that I'm going to buy next year, another one. So every house that I leave, a line of credit, which means I'm using that equity just like a credit card. If I don't borrow anything on a credit card, I'm not going to pay an interest. Same thing with your home equity line of credit. What it's called is access to capital. And quickly, last thing I'll say is I bought just this in December, this last month, 3 single family homes from my $250,000 line of credit. And I bought these homes in Akron. Track with me here. $3,600 total rent for all 3 properties. I used my HELOC to buy these properties. I'm going to cash out now with a DSCR loan. It's a commercial loan, 30-year fixed, but a debt service coverage ratio loan. Pull all of my money back out, all of it, and I'll put a little more in my pocket. The mortgage payment's only going to be $2,000, like $1,900 basically. Taxes, insurance. With that, I'm going to be profiting $1,200 or $1,300 a month in passive income. Pull that cash back out, pay off my home equity line of credit now. So I have these properties with none of my own money in this deal, and I could use that access to capital to buy 3 more, which is what I'm going to do over and over again. This is just one of many strategies. So yes, great opportunity to invest, to get started and become a millionaire fast. But then also one added thing you should do, get a home equity line of credit that's going to help you to buy even more properties.
Awesome. Yeah, you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to real estate. I urge everyone to follow him at, I think it's at the Dustin Heiner everywhere.
Yes, the Dustin Heiner, yep.
Well, we'll link it up. We'll link it up everywhere, but Dustin is constantly posting awesome stuff. And just one more thing on the HELOC. I think both of us have a mutual friend, Adam Carroll, who talks about the shred method. We have an episode on that. That's episode 133, thefiveshow.com/Adam. We're not going to get into that right now. We have like a 50-minute episode on that, but that's another cool HELOC little trick you can do there. Okay, I want to get into something we did not talk about last time. Last episodes was very focused on your journey, the story, which again, please go check that out if you haven't already. But I'm very interested in your habits, your strategies, routines. I mean, you're in good shape. I see you on Instagram throwing around 3 plates on the clean and jerk. Like that's insane numbers, dude. I'm not trying to fluff your feathers too much, but that's insane. You're posting tons of content. You're running a conference, RubeCon, that I'm speaking at. You're running multiple podcasts. You have 8 in your network. You have a huge real estate portfolio on top of this. You have a huge family too. How do you make time for all of this in the day? Like, could you just walk us through a typical day or a typical week? Like, how do you time block? How do you fit this all in?
So here's the amazing thing. When I quit my job, I realized that I have now 40 plus hours of my life back. Because everybody, if you're realizing that you're working for somebody else, that is time that you could be spent to build other businesses and do other things. Now, here, so track with me here, because I'll get to like what I do in a typical day, but everything I've built on as foundation building blocks for the other thing. Like I started my podcast in 2017, I believe. Started my blog, Master Passive Income, back in 2015. So I have lots of foundational building blocks. I have 3 books now that are business books. I have 4 total. One's a marriage book. But I wrote those back in 2016, 2017. Started my podcast, YouTube channel, courses, coachings. Like these are all foundational things that I had to do one step at a time. But if you realize, I quit my job in 2016, I had 40 plus hours of my life back. And so now with having conferences and coaching and monthly local real estate investor meetups, like all of these things do not get this. They do not take all that much of my personal time because I wanted to master passive income, which means I buy one property and that property does the work for me. Now, even with all these other things, I still go to the gym, like you're saying. Like I literally 5 days a week. I love Olympic lifting, one of my favorite things to do. And so I still make sure that my calendar, and get this, Cody, it's basically blank. Like I don't want anything on my calendar because I want to have freedom to do what, because I quit my job. I didn't make my money through real estate. All this other stuff, I've been trying my best to make it as either passive as possible, automated as possible, like Gold City Ventures. Like, like you can make things automated, which is amazing. But on top of that, here's what's really interesting. Everything that I've built too, I have never put any money towards ads. Like, never thrown any ad money. Like, I've never done Facebook ads, never done anything. And I've built all this stuff with multiple podcasts, the conferences, like all that stuff, because I've done organic content and building blocks one on top of the other that helps everything to grow. Now I have students that have graduated from my coaching them. I said, Dustin, I want to work for you. It's like, well, if you're going to work for me, I got to pay you something. Like, they didn't want to get paid. They just want to work for me. I'm like, well, I feel bad. Let me pay you, which is great. Now, get all of that in your mind of what I've done, building blocks and trying to make everything as passive as possible, to whereas now making my calendar as blank as possible. Now I go to the gym in the morning. I drink coffee, hang out with my family, and come on podcasts and talk to great people like you, and then do like maybe once or twice a week check in with my team, because I realize there are experts out there that are better than me at doing other things. And so running my conference, I started that back in 2021, but now I have my team. I have like 6 other guys that are just running this event, which is so terrific. I just oversee it. But I realized that there are ways to get other people to be on board with what you're doing. So from automating, making sure that things are automated, you don't have to do all the work manually. Then having other people buy into what you're doing. And here's the key. I have people saying, Dustin, I just want to be mentored by you. The fact that I also get paid, this is like a blessing. Like, this is extra on top of that. And so here is how I have been blessed to be able to attract so many people to be a part of Master Passive Income and RootCon, is because I have a singular vision of helping 1 million people to invest in real estate. And I just keep pushing as hard as I can towards that and serving other people. And just like with anybody who has a vision, eventually people that see that vision, they want to get behind you and they want to work with you and they want to be a part of it. So to boil everything down, my days are very simple because I'm looking for the next thing that I'm going to be pushing for. Let's say the Real Estate Wealth Builders Club, the monthly meetups that we have. I push hard to get this developed, but then I make sure that I have great people in there, that they're the ones doing the work, and I empower them to do all that work. So even though it seems like I have a lot going on, which we do as a company, but I have amazing people who are so happy that they are able to work with me and work for me. And then I have to force them to take money.
So to make this automated and to make it work, like, you could hire all the people in the world, but if they don't have good instruction, it's probably not going to work with your vision. So I know you spend a lot of time, and I know that's what it takes to create passive income. It takes work at the beginning to develop the passive income streams, to build the SOPs, or standard operating procedures. So let's say you're launching a new podcast, or you have some new initiative like the Real Estate Wealth Builders Club. Are you going in as kind of the front runner and you develop the systems and processes, and then somehow you're documenting that, whether it's in Google Docs or Asana or some project management tool? And then once you're kind of happy with how that thing has been packaged together, then you hand it off to some other amazing person that comes into your life and joins the team. Is that how it works?
You are absolutely right. You want to create something. If you're going to create a SOP or a standard operating procedure, or this is how we as a company do it, we want to make sure it's automated, where somebody new comes in and can watch the video, can get the step-by-step how to do it. So I created. Now, the reason why I started doing this in creating all this SOPs, and I originally thought it was 2 reasons why I would hire somebody. So I used to think there's 2 reasons why I hire somebody. They make my life easier, or they make me money. And then I was talking to a good friend of mine. He's literally a 9-figure business owner. I'm like, he makes a ton of money, just sold his business for 9 figures. Now he's figuring out what he's doing. Anyways, he was building his business and he was getting so much more work. He was hiring, making more money. And then I was telling him, because he was like, how do I get to where you are, where I don't have as much? I said, well, I personally hire people for 2 reasons. They make me money, or they make my life easier. And I explained who I hired. And he said, Dustin, you don't follow what you just said. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, you don't hire people to make you more money. You hire people to make your life easier. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I ran through all the different people that I brought in my team. It's something that I had done and I would say perfected, but got really good at, that I enjoyed. This is the right way to go. And then I brought somebody in, taught them how to do it, SOP, making sure there's systems, procedures, and processes in place so that they can run it instead of me running it. And so always, for me now, I don't hire people to make me more money. I make money in real estate. Like that's where I make my money. Everything else, it's how do I make my life easier and then bless another family or help somebody to have a great job that wants to be a part of it. Does that all make sense?
That makes total sense. That's kind of exactly how I align my life and how I run my companies. Is like it's the same exact way. It's the same exact philosophy, the same exact structure, setup, all that stuff. That's why we're
Well,
friends,
when
Dustin.
you and I, with me, you and Lauren, and obviously a bunch of other guys or people, we were skiing in Tahoe in 2020, right before COVID shut everything down. After we met, I was like, "Who's this smiling young guy?" He's just grinning ear to ear, just smiling because you're friendly. You're a friendly guy. We're all of us FinCon friends. We're in one huge, like 20 plus of us inside of a huge Airbnb, and you're smiling and everything. We just started hitting off. I was like, man, Cody and I see eye to eye on so many things. Like, this is great. And so we hit it off really well. Got to hang out and ski all day. And then every time we get together, it feels like, oh man, we need to hang out more. So now having you come and speak at my conference is just, I'm so happy that this is finally working out.
I was going to say, let's shift gears and talk about RubeCon. And I have felt awful the past couple of years. Like this past year, I was in Costa Rica visiting a friend. The year before that, I was in Europe. Every single year, it's just not worked out when you hit me up for RubeCon. I'm like, oh my God, Dustin's going to think I'm just ducking him, dodging him. Not at all, man. I'm very happy to be there this year. Just let us know, first of all, like where it is, what it's about, what people can expect.
Yeah. So I have lots of students, thousands of students now, coaching them how to invest in real estate. My audience is pretty good size. Just like you, my podcast is over 2 million downloads now. So it's a way to help fulfill my mission in life. Remember, I said at the beginning, I want to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. So I created the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. And it's an annual conference every single year. We move cities. This year, it's going to be in St. Louis, April 10th through the 12th in St. Louis. And it's different than most real estate investor conferences. I've been to conferences that it's hype and sales pitch from the stage. And then they say, now run to the back. It's normally $1 million, but it's $100,000 a day. Get out your 8 credit cards. And I got suckered into one of those a long time ago. And I hated it. I felt like this was horrible. But I thought, I want to create an event that I want to go to. That's all about community. You and I met at FinCon, the Financial Content Creators Conference. And that's just a community. I thought, I want a real estate investing event that's community. That's all about people. Let's just all get together and help each other out. And so I created the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. And so every year we're moving 2026, we're going to be in Nashville. And so obviously, I'm going to have my friends like you come and speak as well. So make sure you put that on your calendar because I know you're going to rock it. You're going to be showing people how to use Gold City Ventures or Etsy shop or create a business or courses or what to invest in real estate, because that's literally what you've done, which is tremendous. But it's all about bringing community or people together. And I am literally bringing 40 plus of my friends like you, other podcasters, other coaches, other people that invest so that we can teach people in the breakout sessions, in the keynotes and all that sort of stuff. And then they can see all the options that are out there. Just like me telling you, hey, you should, one added thing, you should add a home equity line of credit. Like, oh, I never thought of that. Let's go ahead and do something like that. It's all about community. So RubeCon, the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, is all about helping every single person to connect with others, connect with experts, and get them to be successful in real estate investing.
Awesome. And I just want to mention this now for those who are curious, like me, when I hear a conference or a link on a podcast, I'm like typing it in. I think people get 10% off with promo code Cody since I'm a speaker.
Yeah,
thank you,
absolutely.
Dustin,
They sure
for
do.
hooking those people up. Awesome. All right. So just want to make sure before someone is like, that sounds awesome, let me buy. I want to give you guys a special hookup. Dustin's a good guy. We want our peeps there. And yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, promo code Cody. And here's a great thing. I know if you're listening to this show right now, you really like Cody and Justin. You like them both.
Hope so.
I mean, I kid you not. Yeah, I mean, obviously, both of you guys are awesome, and that's why we're friends. I mean, I only want to bring awesome people around so that, because I want Cody, I want you to meet all my other friends, all the other experts. And if you're listening to this, more than likely, you want to come hang out with Cody. Even just getting around him, it's going to help you explode in your business, in your mindset too. So definitely, this is an event around you, the person, you listening to this, that we're bringing Cody and other amazing people. You listen on the podcast, like these are Cody's a genuine person. Cody's an awesome guy. Trust me. I mean, I've known him for many years now. Saw him before, Fi Show started taking off. It's just now he has so many people like you that's listening. You want to come hang out with Cody. So yeah, use a promo code Cody, get 10% off, and then you will see how amazing it is to hang out with Cody live in person. He's going to be there and he's going to make sure you have a good time.
And so I think a differentiation between RubeCon and other conferences. I know you mentioned, like, trust me, I got 40 great people, they're awesome. But saying one thing, like, I don't know, Dustin, I'm not going to believe him. I'm pretty sure you have a rule though. Like, this is a no pitch conference, right? Like, you're not just saying these are good people that aren't going to scam you. Like, I think literally a rule of the presentation is you cannot do the, hey, I have this $1 million thing, but today it's on sale for $100,000. Like, there's none of that, right? Like, people literally can't sell you stuff from the stage.
If from the very beginning, when I created the conference, it's plastered everywhere, all over my website, all over marketing, like everything. It's a no sales pitch conference. And meaning it's not going to be hype and sales pitch from the stage. And they say, hey, now run to the back. Because they're, you go
There's
to
so many in the real estate world.
That's what they're, yeah.
Yeah.
Most conferences are about that. And so I specifically say this is a no sales pitch conference. Also, even almost to a detriment to like us as, and like, so if somebody wants to work with Cody, he's going to be presenting at the event. And I hope my students are going to be working with Cody. I hope my students work with everybody else. Like it's a community thing. We have an abundance mindset, especially Cody and I have an abundance mindset. There's so much to go around. And if somebody wants to work with Cody, this is what I mean by the detriment. Some of the speakers are even afraid to, or like, oh, should I even just give an offer? Like, hey, do I even let them know that I have something? Like, yes. Let them know that you coach this, even if you want to give them a discount. But it's not the build everything up and you know what I'm talking about. That sales pitch thing. But if somebody wants to work with you, I'm wholeheartedly say that's why I brought Cody here. He's a friend of mine. I trust him. You should be working with him.
So tell me about RubeCon last year. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I missed it, but I'm hoping you have some, whether it's success stories from students or attendees, or maybe even just a couple standout presentations. I mean, you really had a room full of amazing people with all different types of strengths and disciplines. So if you just have a couple of things to share from last year that really stood out to you, I would love to hear them.
Yeah. So last year we had the theme of RubeCon, the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, is breakthrough together. That means breaking through all your limitations, everything in your mindset, but we're together. Every year we have a theme that we're always together. The first year was gather together. Second year is stronger together. Third year is breakthrough together. And so with that, this year, I'll go one more. So in 2025, it is elevate together. We're going to grow and scale and get better together. But last year, we had such an amazing mindset shift for basically all the attendees. So we have keynotes and breakout sessions. The keynotes, the main stage is all about making you a better, not investor, but a better person in general, from mindset to growth to leadership to breaking through barriers. It's helping you not even anything regarding to real estate. It's all about you so that you can break through, and that was last year, was the thought was breakthrough. With that idea of breaking through, we had so many people crying in the keynotes on the last day because we did this. We got a board for every single person. It's a board break, and they write on their limitations that they put on themselves in their own mind. They wrote it on there, and then they took turns. They paired up, and everybody broke the board, and it helped them to realize, man, this is a limitation I put on myself. They broke through it. And then this next year, they're putting it into practice. Now, the breakout sessions, that is all about coaching, teaching specific how to do X, Y, and Z, because that's the tactical thing. But we have to get our minds done first so that we can push through. Then we also have to have the tactical. Then we also have lots of networking. We have everybody connecting together. And I know there is at least, I can't even give you a total count, hundreds of people who have come from RubeCon and then bought their first property. I'll give you one specific person. So there's a pastor up in Sacramento. His name's Benjamin. Doesn't have any money. Pastors don't make money. But in 2015, he bought a property. So what he did was he took that home equity line of credit that I've talked about, and he bought a house in, I think it was Atlanta, Georgia. Bought a house, fixed it up, got it renting out, then refinanced it, pulled the cash back out, paid off his home equity line of credit. Now he's a house with no money in the deal, making him cash flow, and he's scaling it over and over again. Two other people, like just almost the same track, Pernith and Juan. Pernith and Juan both started investing after RubeCon last year. Now each one of them have like, I think 12 units. Print has 12 units, 12 properties, so a couple of duplexes, a couple of single family homes, and Juan has 8. And it's just, it was the floodgates that were open, got past their limitations, realized how to do it, got a network of people around, got coaching. Like they started working with me in coaching, and now they're off to the races. They're both about ready to quit their job. So it's life changing in so much a way that I want everybody to realize that you come out of this event changing your life with friends, with contacts, with people that can coach you. Like if you need to make more money, work with Cody so that he helps you to invest. And then if you want to just jump more into investing, you can work with me or any one of my 40 other friends that are coaching this stuff, because we are going to help you to get to that next level.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, no, seriously, I think the amount of people that I've seen you help, and what's really telling when you know someone's actually helping people is when their prodigies have come up to you. Like I've met some of the people that you've coached at FinCon, and they're like, dude, Dustin's awesome. I can't believe you're friends with Dustin. And it's amazing. And now you have literally students and people that you've taught before running your 7 other podcasts for you. Like that's very telling of someone who cares about the people that he's working with. So I just want to say hats off and kudos to you, man. Cause like,
Thanks,
that's
brother.
why I mentioned to you before we hit go, Justin and I are being much more selective this year about guests on the podcast. We want people to be excited about the podcast episodes, not just, oh, let's get another one out this week. Like we want people who are genuinely making an impact and someone who can really change the lives of our listeners. And you fit the bill.
Well,
100%.
I want to add one thing. So for you listening to this, you literally need to go. And I've been on lots of podcasts, hundreds and hundreds of podcasts, guested on lots of podcasts. And you need to go right now into, if you're in Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you need to give this show a 5-star review. I kid you not. And the reason why, I've been interviewed by lots of people, Cody and Justin. The reason why this show is so impactful is because they do so much research on their guest. I get on shows and well, tell everybody about yourself, and they have no clue about me. But you, even though we're friends, you do even research even more. Anyways, the reason why I say this is because they work so hard to help you to change your life, become a financially independent person, financial freedom. It's because they put in so much work. Not a lot of everybody does this. So go and leave a 5-star. Pause it right now. Go leave a 5-star review right now, because it's going to help more people in the end to change their life, hopefully become financially independent.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and hopefully we do get some 5-star reviews, because we really do try to put out the top quality content that will actually help you on your goals, not just a bunch of fluff, actual tactical strategies. Or if we don't know the strategies, we bring someone on who does. Like I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert in investing in 355 unit buildings or hotels, or I'm definitely not even an expert in real estate. I'm just a guy who's been able to achieve financial independence partly through real estate, and I share what I've done along the way. So I got to ask you, Dustin, one thing that I've seen you post a lot about and actually go pretty viral about, this is completely taking a left turn, but you have like 1 million Costco hacks. Can you just tell me about that? Like what's that all about, dude?
So you're 100% right. So on Instagram, one of my Costco videos, 4.5 million views.
Like,
I was like, what just happened? And so what's crazy is, so I really wanted to at least have something where I could have another medium to, like Instagram, to share more things about, hey, we can invest in real estate, we can get, change our lives. And so I just was posting 3 times a day, 3 reels a day, just putting out a bunch of content. And one day I randomly thought, because I go hunting and we get elk, we harvest the elk, and we got to grind it up to make it, elk burgers and all that sort of stuff. Well, you usually add some fat to it, just because, like just hamburger, you add fat to it, just gives more flavor instead of being really dry. And so I been to Costco 5 different times. First time I went to them, hey, can I just buy the fat? That's all I need. And they said, we'll just give it to you. And I said, that's great, thank you. 4 or 5 different times I go to Costco and they give me. I walk out the front door with a big 10 pounds of fat. This is great. One day, randomly, I'm like, I need to put out a video. Let me just randomly. It took me 4 minutes to create the video, and I posted it. It literally in Costco, because it showed me getting the fat and all that sort of stuff. It took off. Well, that was when I was like, this was crazy. I was like, that's great, helping people. Another one was another Costco video. Apparently, people love Costco. People love Costco. And if there's a hack, something that gets you even more of a benefit, then those take off. But really, what it comes down to, I find that social media, especially Instagram, if somebody follows you, they're going to want to understand what you're doing, because with me talking about real estate or financial independence or whatever it might be, they're going to want to get that content, but they also want to see just normal everyday stuff that you do. They want that. And so I created that, but apparently those Costco ones take off. So I got to figure out another Costco one, have it take off.
I love it, man. But it's like you said, it's the stuff that's helping people, the little hacks, the little tricks and tips. And you do the same thing with real estate. Like, granted, maybe not as many people are interested in real estate as they are in Costco. That's fine. There's more Costco shoppers than there are real estate investors. But you're doing the same thing with all your content. You're finding the little nooks and crannies that people might not know about, unveiling like something new, and then that's how you build your audience. That's why you're trending as a number one podcast.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'll give you one more quick one that I did not think would do all that well. Is I put down a list of states that have the highest income taxes. And I put it out there. I said, here's a list of all the states that have the highest income taxes. It blew up, a couple million views. And it was because people were commenting. Like, people on the right were commenting. People on the left were commenting. That's what Instagram wants, is engagement.
They want fights.
Where it really comes down to is, in the end, I realize if we get more traction on all of social media, then that's another way to get more people to help with my goal of helping 1 million people to invest in real estate. But then also, like, literally just this morning, I posted that Master Passive Income, my podcast, if you search for real estate investing on Apple Podcasts, it comes up number one. And so it's just another way to help 1 million people to invest in real estate.
I love that. So looking forward, what things are on your horizon for 2025 and beyond? Obviously, we got RubeCon coming up in April. You have 8 podcasts right now. You're acquiring units left and right. Is there anything new, or are you just going to keep doing what's working and keep trudging and building your portfolio?
Yeah. 2 different things that are really on my plate right now is continuing the Real Estate Wealth Builders Clubs. Those are the monthly meetups. So we had the conference, RubeCon, the Real Estate Wealth Builder Conference, and people were saying, we want more. Like, we get people returning every year because it builds them up. It helps them. They said, we want local meetups. Like, do you have something once a month? And so, because there's a need, we want to provide something for them. So we have Charlotte, Phoenix, and Denver. Right now, we're looking to start one in New York, another one in LA, another one in Ohio, like Akron area. So we're looking to start those up. And that's on my plate. So I fly out there and I speak occasionally, like maybe once a month or something like that. And so that's one. Now, for my own personal real estate investing, here is what's amazing. Cody, I'm pretty sure you're getting close to this point where you're making a lot of money that the IRS has started to take notice of you. And they're saying, hey, we need more money out of you. Well, real estate's so amazing that if you make money, you can hide it. Hide is just a fancy, fun way to say, follow the tax laws to not give them as much money as they are requiring. So
legally
here's what I'm
doing
now.
Listeners, legally hide it. We're not, no shady tax advice here. This is completely 100% legal. I'm sure whatever Dustin's about to say.
100% legal. In fact, it is so legal that I tell them this is what I'm doing. Like, okay, here you go. So this is what I'm doing now. Because I make so much money now, I have to buy more real estate. Remember, I bought real estate to make me money, but now I make so much money that I am forced by the government to buy more real estate that makes me more money to keep them from taking all my money. So here's what I did. I bought an Airbnb, $420,000. It's doing really well, makes me money, cash flow every single month. But it's called a cost segregation study on this property, which means you can depreciate, which means show less on your taxes. You show it, but it makes the IRS think you make less in money. But it's usually over 27 and a half years. You depreciate, or you take a little bit off the top for 27 and a half years. I did a cost segregation study, which condensed that 27 and a half years of depreciating that asset down, all the way down to like 3 or 4 years. So this 1 year, 2024, I had $100,000 in depreciation, which means the IRS thinks I make 100% or 100,000 less. I tell them this is what I'm doing. And they go, oh, it looks good because it's literally legal. but that's $100,000 I'm not going to have to giving to the IRS. So you're probably in that spot now, but that's another thing is I'm forced to buy more real estate that makes me more money. One other quick thing. Oh man, I got so many great things. Here's another thing.
You got a lot of things.
I got a lot of things, but I got to tell you this. This is how the rich think. If I'm going to have $100,000 that I'm going to get taxed on, instead of that $100,000 paying it right to the IRS, how about I buy a property that makes me money, but I buy that property for $100,000 and I take a loan out and buy the things I want. So I could buy a yacht for 100 grand or, big boat or car or whatever for $100,000. Well, you're going to be taxed on $100,000. Let's say it's 30%, 35%, whatever your tax rate is. Wouldn't you much rather pay 6% because you borrowed a tax-free loan from the bank? So you're paying 6% to the bank as opposed to 40% to the IRS. Another way that rich do this. So when you start investing in real estate, you start seeing all these strategies to help you save money and force you to make more money because you're following a tax code.
Guys, these are some advanced strategies. They're legit strategies. Dustin, if people want more stuff like this, I know you're a wealth of information. Where do you want to send people? Again, you have so much stuff going on that we talked about in this episode. Is there a couple places in particular you want to send our listeners?
Absolutely. Well, number one, I want to help you to invest in real estate. Do you mind if I give everybody a free course?
Free course? Absolutely, yeah.
I have people literally invest just from getting my course. So this free course, I'll give it to you. If you text the word rental, RENTAL, rental to 33777, rental to 33777, or you can go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course, all one word. I will literally give you my real estate investing course completely for free, show you how to invest anywhere in the country. I invest in Ohio, Texas, Arizona, Tennessee, and Indiana right now. We invest all over the country, don't even have to be where we live. Show you how to scale your business to where you're hopefully become financial independent. Then you are living your life. So get that 100%. Then you can also, we talked about it earlier, love talking with people on Instagram. I'm an extrovert, so I love talking to people. DM me on Instagram. Let me know you listen to the FI Show. And so the Dustin Heiner, THE, Dustin Heiner. Follow me on there. Just keep getting out so much great information. Master Passive Income Podcast. You search real estate investing, I'll be probably right at the top, hopefully still at number one, but the Master Passive Income Podcast, YouTube, same exact thing. And remember, we're going to have you come out to the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, hang out with Cody and myself. If you're an introvert, grab me, grab Cody. We're going to help you have a good time. It's all about you to be able to connect with other people and invest. But go to rubcon.com, REWBCON.com, and put in the promo code Cody. And you'll get 10% off your pass. It's in St. Louis this year. Next year, it's going to be in Nashville. We move every year, but it's literally an event to get you to invest, scale, meet other great friends, and then have a great life after that. Hopefully become financially independent. But yeah, those are all the ways that you can connect with me. And obviously, I'm going to have Cody on my show because I love how Cody uses his businesses to then invest in real estate, to make more money, to save money that all builds on top of everything else.
It's all a beautiful cycle, Dustin. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. We will link all of those links up in the show notes. Make sure that people get the discount for Rubcon, Instagram, YouTube, free course, all the good stuff that you've been sharing today. Thank you again, man. It has been far too long, and I'm so glad that we were finally able to get you on the show again.
Same here, brother. Great chatting with you again.